This is the sound of modern real estate. Fast, efficient, always on. You have a broker in your pocket, 10 brokers even. You send a message looking for 2 bedroom in Marina, maximum 2.5 million. The links start flooding in Beirut, Property Finder, Dubizzle, more links, a PDF, a virtual tour. You are in control. You are moving fast. You're doing your research. You feel like you're on the top of the market. Now you get a message. Hot deal. Below market value. Must move fast. And your heart races. The clock is ticking. You fire back questions. You get short, quick answers, bites of information. But what's really happening in that silence? What's behind those three little dots? Are you getting the full story or just the story that fits in a text bubble of your smartphone? You're about to make the biggest financial decision of your life based on a conversation you're having with your thumbs. Ask yourself this question. Are you building a partnership or are you just managing a notification? That's the real question, isn't it? Hello and welcome to Real Conversations. We live in an age of incredible convenience, an age of instant gratification. Here in Dubai, a city that feels like it was built on the very idea of what next, a city that moves at lightning speed, we have become obsessed with the idea of efficiency. We see it as a virtue. We see it as a competitive advantage. But in our race for efficiency, we have forgotten what it means to be effective. In our pursuit of speed, we have lost our sense of direction. We have been led to believe that having more information is the same as having more wisdom. That having more contacts is the same as having more connection. As investors, a lot of people think that having 15 brokers on WhatsApp makes us smart, savvy investors. We think getting instant replies at 10 o'clock at night means we are getting premium service. The technology in our hands, on our wrists, in our ears, it gives us the illusion of control. A powerful, seductive illusion. Every buzz, every ping, every notification is a small hit of dopamine, making us feel productive, making us feel important. And this has fundamentally rewired how we approach major life decisions. We treat searching for a home and investment for our family's future with the same swiping, scrolling, click and buy mentality that we use to order lunch. But I'm here to tell you from nearly 2 decades of studying human connection and advising clients on their biggest investments that this convenience comes at a very, very high price. You think you are saving an hour by not meeting someone, but you could be losing hundreds of thousands of dirhams. You could be buying the wrong asset entirely. You think that you are in control because the phone is in your hand, but you're actually giving away all your power to an algorithm and a series of anonymous text bubbles. In my book that was published in 2019, Real Conversations in Digital Age, I did explore the deep biological and physiological need for a face-to-face human connection. I talk about how our brains are wired for it and what happens to our relationships, our businesses, and our mental health when we starve ourselves of it. And I can tell you, there is no area where this disconnect is more critical, more financially significant, and more dangerously ignored than in the relationship between an investor and their real estate advisor or broker. See, your broker is not just a search engine you access through an app. They are supposed to be your guide, your strategist, your confidant, your gatekeeper to the best opportunities in the market. So, why on earth would you relegate that critical, high stakes relationship to a tool that was designed for sending memes, emojis, and one line replies? Today, we are going to do a deep dive. We will explore exactly what you lose, what unseen risks you take on when you choose the chat window over the coffee table. It is going to be a little longer podcast than you're used to. I will request you to keep a little patience to bear with me. Now, I'm going to share some real stories I have witnessed firsthand that pull back the curtain on how this market truly operates. Let's get practical with our first example. I call this one the myth of the hot deal. Now, this story perfectly illustrates the digital age dilemma. It's about a client of mine from last year. For his privacy, we'll call him Ahmed. Now, Ahmed is a brilliant man. He works in the financial sector. He's a through and through numbers guy. His mind is a fortress of logic, data, spreadsheets, and I think it's fair to say he's deeply skeptical of so-called soft skills. So to him, a deal was good or bad based on the numbers, period. The person selling it was irrelevant. So naturally, he was convinced that he could handle his entire property search from his laptop and his phone. He had created a spreadsheet, of course. On that spreadsheet, he was tracking communications with no less than 15 different brokers. His WhatsApp was a constant chaotic waterfall of links, PDFs, and virtual tours. One Thursday afternoon, my phone rings. It's Ahmed, and I can hear in his voice immediately that strange cocktail of extreme excitement and pure panic. Ritu, he says, his voice was fast. I think I have found it. A broker just sent me a deal. It is a fire sale. A portfolio of apartments in a brand new building in Business Bay. The numbers are incredible. The price is 15% below the developer's list price. And he continues catching his breath. But the broker says it's an urgent sale. The owner is a distressed seller. He's telling me 2 other cash buyers are making offers and I need to decide within the next 1 hour. Now, as my job is, I listened patiently, and as he laid out all the data points, the price per square feet, the projected yield, the developer's reputation, to be honest, on paper, he was right. It appeared that a golden opportunity was waiting for him. He was ready to wire a deposit. He has not seen the site. The digital pressure was working its magic on Ahmed. When he finished, I took a long pause. Then I said, Ahmed, pause with me for a moment. Just breathe. Before you do anything, before you wire a single dirham, I just want you to do one thing for me. Now he knows me and he said, what? He asked impatiently. He said, there is no time, Ritu. I told him, there is always time for clarity. I just want you to ask that broker to meet you for one coffee meeting. Tell him you are ready to move forward, but you just need 30 minutes to finalize your decision in person. A deal this big deserves more than a text message, doesn't it, Ahmed? Now he was frustrated. I could hear him sigh. Ritu, what's the point? I have all the data. The broker will just tell me the same thing he has been telling me on WhatsApp. What new information will I have through the meeting? He'll just waste my time. I said, trust me. The conversation you have in person will be completely different from the one you are having on your phone, that too through chat. The words might be the same, but the communication will be worlds apart. I request you that you please go and watch and listen to the broker. I requested him to look closely to the body language of the broker. I will even give you 2 specific questions, I told him. Now, he was very reluctant because he trusts our advisory relationship. He ultimately agreed. Now, after an hour, Ahmed is walking into a bustling cafe on the ground floor of a skyscraper in Business Bay. So I think last year, I think it was around August in Dubai. The heat outside was it was quite hot outside, but the air conditioning was of course blasting as it is in Dubai.